What up, what up, what up? This is your man Dre Day, Sportsway with Dre Day podcast, the Hood's ESPN, Bristol Street's very own. Once again, I want to thank y'all all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. Hit the comments, hit the like button. Also, hit the bell so whenever an episode drops, you immediately get a notification. I would truly, truly appreciate it. Y'all see the title of this video. Man, oh man, oh man. Stephen A. Smith. First of all, let me say this. What I'm going to say doesn't come from hate. It comes from a place of love. You understand what I'm saying? Because, again, I've said this on past videos, even on my audio. I look to Stephen A. Smith as a mentor in this media game. I look to him as a OG. I look to him as a big homie. But there comes a point in time when your idols or your OGs or your big homies, they do some clownish shit and you got to call them out on it. You can't let them slide. You can't let them get away with it. And in this situation, I have to do that. On Monday, on First Take, and I have to come at him because he's the head of the table. Like, he's the one that's always boasting and bragging about who he gets on his show, who he puts on his show, and who he does this for and who he does that for. So since he's the executive producer of First Take, it's only right that I bring this to your doorstep. So here we come. I'm walking up the steps. Here we go. Monday, you had the audacity, the unmitigated gall. I'm using your words. That's how much I love you. To open First Take talking about the Stanley Cup Finals? Really? Really? That's what you opened your show talking about. That's what you opened that show up about. The Stanley Cup Finals. Now, for some people, they're going to say, oh, it's a game 7. It's a winner take all. Yada, yada, yada. Me, personally, not trying to hear that shit. Because, see, for me, it was only one thing that should have opened that show. Only one thing that should have opened First Take on Monday. And that was the game that happened the night before or the day before the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky. That's right. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. That rivalry should have been what opened that show. Not no damn hockey. I'm sorry. And again, for people that watch hockey, this is not a knock to y'all. I personally don't really care for hockey, but I know people that do. I'm not going to sit here and dog hockey. I just don't believe that they should have got that spot on ESPN First Take to open up the show. I don't. And I'm going to keep saying that. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that. Because I truly believe that the WNBA, what I'm wearing right now, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, whichever name you want to put first, they should have been the ones to open. That should have been the opening segment to start that show. And I'm going to give you a list of reasons on why. And let's get to it. Stephen A. OG. Big homie. The first reason is simple. Since when have you ever spoke about hockey? In all my years of watching First Take, you've never really spoken about hockey like that. If I had to put a percentage on how many times you spoke about hockey, let alone open the show talking about hockey, I can honestly say it's probably about 30-something%. Probably less than that. Now, the guy that you had on the show, PK Subban. Hopefully I said his name right. This is no knock to him. I know he's a former NHL player and stuff like that. Great commentator. He a brother, so I'm going to support that. But since when did you ever speak about hockey? You may speak about it here and there, once in the blue, like literally once in the blue. You even said it yourself. You don't know nothing about hockey. The only thing you know is that the puck is black. So off that alone, this shouldn't have been a reason on why you opened your show talking about a Stanley Cup final. Now, I get it. History might have been made. You know, Edmonton was down, 0-3. They came to tie the series 3-3. So history might have been made here where a team might have came back 0-3 and win the Stanley Cup for the first time, I think, since 41 or 42, I believe. I get all of that. But see how God worked? See how God worked? How did that turn out? Florida won. So no history was made. So for all you motherfuckers that was probably rooting for Edmonton to make that history, didn't happen. See how God worked? God works in mysterious ways. He know. The man upstairs know. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark should have been the first thing to open up First Take. Here's another reason. Viewership. Now, when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark go up against each other, okay? We're talking about college and pro. When they go up against each other, the numbers go through the roof as it pertains to viewership. Their first game, their national championship game, which was last year, they drew 9.9 million viewers. It peaked at 12.6. Get your pens. Keep writing. Keep writing. The second game, which was the Elite 8 game, which happened last year. No, early this year. The numbers just keep going up. 12.3 million people tuned into that game. It peaked at 16.1 million. This is all in college. Now let's get to the pro games. 1.53 million. That was the first game, which was June 1st. It peaked at 2.19 million viewers. Then we fast forward a few weeks later. The fourth game, 2.25 million, peaked at 3 million. That's the most viewed game on any network for a WNBA game in 23 years. Caitlin and Angel Reese did that. And now we get to the game that just happened this past weekend. 2.3 million people tuned in to watch that game. So as you can see, the numbers just go up when these girls play, when these young women play each other. Yes, I get it. It's Sky Fever. We understand that. But we do know that this is a rivalry. So you have to put two names to the rivalry. And that will be Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, or Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. It doesn't matter. When these two young women play against each other, the numbers go through the roof. And you trying to tell me that hockey should have opened ESPN First Take on Monday? Come on now. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Now, me personally, had you talked about hockey on a normal basis, had you opened up the show talking about hockey on occasions, I'll stand down. This wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be an issue at all. But the fact that you never really spoke about hockey like that, you might have had, PK Subban on the show a few times. You might have had Barry Melrose with the slick hair and the nice suits back in the day. You might have had him on for a little segment here and there, but you never really talked about hockey like that. So it took one game, a winner-take-all game in the Stanley Cup, for you to say, you know what? Let's open the show up talking about hockey. For real? And I'm supposed to just sit here, who loves the WNBA, passionate about the WNBA, and feel like these women deserve the recognition and the shine, and I'm supposed to just sit back and not say nothing? Hell fucking no. That ain't happening. Not on my watch. So, you did some clownish shit. So now I got to call you out on it. Now, let's really bring this home. Let's really, really bring this home. Now, listen, I get it. Hockey, it's a cool sport. But the first 2 rounds of this Stanley Cup playoffs, the first 2 rounds, which is the first and second round, they generated 1.16 million viewers. I need y'all to remember that. 1.16 million viewers. So if numbers serve me correct, their 3 games in the regular season generated more viewers than the NHL. So please explain to me again why the NHL was your opening act, your opening topic for First Take on Monday. Now, listen, I'm quite sure Game 7 numbers is going to be through the roof. I get it. I understand it. And I'm quite sure it's going to open up First Take on Tuesday. Kudos. But I'm talking about Monday. I'm talking about Monday. My dude, you barely speak, like you, in fact, you never speak about hockey. Fuck that. Fuck saying barely. You never speak about hockey. And you never open the show up against it. And you never open up with hockey. So why did you do it now? And this is more of a reason on why you should have gave the WNBA its love. The NBA Finals is over. Okay, yeah, the draft is coming up. But you could have easily opened up the show on Monday and give these women their flowers to start the show. Okay, Wednesday, which is the draft, maybe that's the day you can open up and talk about the draft. But on Monday, you could have spoke and opened up the show talking about that wonderful game with the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky, with the rivalry of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But now I'm going to bring it home. See, now I'm sitting on your doorstep. Now I'm about to ring the doorbell. And I see you not answering. So now I got to kick the door open and make myself comfortable. Maybe, just maybe this is the reason why you didn't open up with it. Maybe you were so hurt that Angel Reese won and put on a clinic and beat Caitlin Clark. Maybe that's why. Maybe that was the reason on why you didn't want to open the show and talk about that game. Ooh, I think I might have struck a nerve with that one. I think that might be the reason, Stephen A. I think that might be the reason, because we do know for these past few weeks, you've been doing a lot of tap dancing for Caitlin Clark. You, Uncle Shay, Emmanuel Oucho, Shady McCoy, that fat fuck Jason Whitlock. I'm not leaving none of y'all niggas out. I'm calling all of y'all out. All of y'all have been doing a lot of tap dancing for Caitlin Clark. Now, me, I love Caitlin Clark. I do. One of my favorite players. I'm not even going to sit here and act like she not. But y'all doing a lot of tap dancing for her. Y'all tap dancing to the point where y'all, Sandman, Gregory Hines, the Nicholas brothers, the whole 9 yards from back in the day. Y'all doing a lot of tap dancing for this girl. So maybe, just maybe, that was the reason on why you didn't want to open up the show and talk about the game. Now, yes, you did give her flowers. When you did bring the segment up, you did give her flowers. But maybe, just maybe, that was the reason on why you didn't want to open up the show and give Angel Reese her flowers. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe so. Because I know a time when you did open the show talking about the WNBA. And it just happened to be earlier this month, that first game of the year. Well, not the first game of the year, but when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark played each other for the first time. Y'all spent a whole segment. You, Uncle Shay, Monica McNutt. I'm going to say Molly too because she was a part of it too because she was trying to referee it. Y'all spent almost an hour talking about an isolated incident. And it didn't have nothing to do with basketball. Not a game. We ain't talking about a game. In the words of AI, we ain't talking about a game. We talking about a ill-advised non-basketball play where Kennedy Carter mushed Caitlin Clark on the floor. Now, we all agree that was not a basketball play. But the fact that y'all spent damn near an hour talking about that shit, and that was the first thing y'all talked about on First Take. The first thing y'all talked about. Was it because it was Caitlin Clark? Well, I'm sure that was the reason. Stevie Wonder could see that shit. We all know that's the reason why you opened it. So maybe, just maybe, being at the Chi-Town Barbie put up these numbers and got the dub and propelled her team from being 15 points down and came back and win. Maybe that's why you didn't open up the show talking about it. Because I can guarantee you this, and I'm quite sure whoever is watching this is going to agree with me. Let's do the hypothetical. Let's say Caitlin Clark had those type numbers. Let's say she had 25 points. Let's say she had 16 assists. Let's say that she bounced back and propelled her team from 15 points down and came back and won. You trying to tell me that you wouldn't have opened up that show and talk about that shit? You expect me to sit here and believe that you wouldn't have opened up the show talking about that? Because I know for a Snapple top fact you would have. Because I just told you, you've been doing a lot of tap dancing for Caitlin Clark. But since the Chi-Town Barbie did this, she got to play second fiddle. The WNBA got to play second fiddle. The hockey. Get the hell out of here with that shit. You wildin', man. You wildin'. That's why I put the thumbnail with you as a clown, because this is some clownish shit that you did. And again, this is all coming from a place of love. It's a place of love. I'm hurt that you did this. That's why I'm calling you out on it. I still view you as the big homie. I still view you as a mentor, OG, all that shit. But I had to do this. I had to do it. I was fuming, waiting for First Take to come on. I was like, yo, I know they're going to talk about it. I know they're going to talk about it. And before y'all even go, and before y'all even get into the show, y'all talking about hockey. Talking about the commissioner's going to be on the show and all this, that, and the third. Man, please. We supposed to be uplifting the WNBA. Right now, the viewership for the WNBA is at an all-time high. Why not strike while the pot is hot? I just told you, there's no NBA real news right now. The draft ain't until Wednesday. There's nothing really going on in football. The Olympics hasn't started yet. So why not give the ladies their flowers and open the show and talk about an amazing game with this new rivalry? Because again, with this rookie class, the future is bright. The future was already bright, but it's even brighter now, courtesy of this class. You had 3 rookies in that game have double-doubles. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoso. I want to get her name right. But you tripping, OG. You tripping. Still love you. Still love you. Still got love for you. This me taking my OG outside because I got a knot in my chest that I need to get unloosened. This me walking on your doorstep, kicking in the door because you ain't answering, so now I got to make my presence felt. Now, will you hear this? I don't know. Only time will tell. But I had to do this. I had to do this. I had to. Some people may think I'm bugging, but hey, it is what it is. I had to do this. But before I go, I want to shout out some small independent podcasters like myself that wave the WNBA flag like me. My big homie K-Sap from Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. My girl Sierra out there in Rhode Island from Sports Talk with C. The Full 94 Podcast, which is her crew. Will, Miles, a couple of people. I'm quite sure I missed a few. Daz from Pretty Girls Love Sports. Just a few independent podcasters like myself that sheds the light on the WNBA because it's rightfully deserved. The future is bright. This is the perfect time to be speaking about the WNBA. It's so much shit going on. So much. And you chose to open up your show on Monday talking about some motherfucking hockey. Shout out to Undisputed though. Skip Bayless. You a real one for that. See, he understood the assignment. He opened his show talking about that game. Him, Keyshawn Johnson, the True Paul Pierce, they understood the assignment. They knew. They knew. Unfortunately, you couldn't. Now I know it's gonna be some people. One of my little homies, Javon, was like that. How Disney and ESPN, they work together, and you know they coincide with each other. That's where the game is gonna be televised. Maybe that's why they did it. Ain't trying to hear that. Not trying to hear it. Womp, womp, womp. Not trying to hear that. History was made Sunday with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Quite frankly, history is going to always be made when these two young women play each other. That's more of a reason on why you strike while the pot is hot. But again, it is what it is. It's water under the bridge. I just felt that I needed to do this. OG, still love you. Still got love for you. Again, this is coming from a place of love, not a place of hate. This is a place of love over here. You know what I mean? But once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportsway with Dre Day Podcast. I am the Hood's ESPN, okay? There you have it. So once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportsway with Dre Day Podcast. Hit them comments, man. Tell me what you think. Am I overreacting? Am I too emotional? Am I too heavily invested in the WNBA? Or was he right for opening his show talking about some hockey? Y'all hit me up in them comments and tell me what you think. But until next time, y'all be safe out there. This has been another video of Sportsway with Dre Day Podcast. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here. Salute.